field, quite frankly, as a frustrated consumer. I was tired of waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and feeling like one half of my face looked smashed and slept on. And it made me want to learn more about what happens to your body while you sleep. And on the other hand, the properties of the fabrics that we spend a third of our day in close contact with. And so in short, what I learned is that there is a powerful connection between your body and your bedding that impacts not only how you look and feel, but also how you sleep. And so with my background in chemical engineering, engineered a new fabric that is designed to work with your body while you sleep. So maybe that's enough for now.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And I think that most people around the world have sleep issues. So I'm sure that all these will be very, very helpful and will tell us more as our talk will continue. And now I'm going to Mr. Gordon Sterling, who's going live now. And Gordon, hello from Greece, and thank you very much for joining us. A nice background. So tell us about you and about Active Solutions and of course your other companies, and please.
Yeah. Thank you, Stavros. Hello everyone. I'm joining you from San Francisco, California, on the west coast of the United States. And although I don't have an American accent, a lot of my Australian buddies say, hey, you've been there for 15 years, why don't you have an American accent? I said, well, it just happens that way that I don't. So I'm originally from Australia, spent 25 years of my industry in Australia, working between Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. And then I ended up coming to America. I've been involved with Fitness Ventures for 15 years as a partner in the business. Active Solutions is one of our brands. We saw a need for basically cleaning up the fitness industry. And as you can see in the back of me there, the gym rack solutions, we invented that around about 6 years ago. And as you probably all know, you've been into a fitness space where there might be some medicine balls and then some kettlebells and then maybe some stretch mats, and they all live on different racks and different places, or they live on the floor. So we wanted to create a clean solution where people could, one, store their products and have easy access to them. And by doing this, it also allows cleaning staff to come in and clean the floors. And during this pandemic, we know how important cleanliness is. So maybe we were ahead of the curve, back 8 years ago when we started talking about this. But through doing our innovative solutions and creating a boutique finish, particularly for the hospitality industry, it also led to technology. And as we know, technology and, part of the talk today is that focus on data. And everyone these days is walking around with one of these things in their hands. And everyone is connected to a phone, and we have accessibility to that. And again, through the pandemic, we've seen a massive spike in wellness and fitness. And through that technology, we developed a portal and a system that people can be in their hotel room or in the fitness center down in the main part of the hotel that allows them to work out. And it allows them to work out in the privacy of their room, or it allows them to work out in the main fitness area. But it is a system that is very much around personal training. And as you travel, and many people have that personal trainer at home, but they can't take them on vacation with them or travel with them on a business trip. So it gives them that accessibility. So, that product was launched a number of years ago, and we developed it mainly through an agreement with Hilton Hotels, and that program is going globally with Hilton Hotels.
Great, great things to hear. Digitalization of our industry, and because we have spoken in the past, Gordon, I think that we have many interesting things to say during this talk. So let's start from our talk from Alison. Apologies, Gordon. It's the only lady of our company, so I will give her first to tell us about hair and about non-lapelli more things. So, Alison, how you ended up and your journey into the wellness industry, and what drives you to create this, wellness tech company, non-lapelli, and focusing on wellness and healthy linen. So describe more what drove you, and in detail, what is non-lapelli and how it can help us in the future.
Yes, that's a great question, Stavros. So again, I started the company as a frustrated consumer. I was tired of waking up in the morning and not looking or feeling as refreshed as I wanted. And it made me want to learn more about what happens to your body while you sleep. And on the other hand, the properties of the fabrics that we spend a third of our day in close contact with. And what I learned is that your body gives off moisture, and common bedding fabrics like cotton love moisture. So cotton is going to take that moisture from your body and absorb it and hold on to it. And that creates a surface that sticks to your skin and pulls on it. It messes with your hair, and it can even disrupt your sleep. And so again, as a consumer, none of that sounded very good to me. And when I looked into the bedding industry, there really hadn't been any innovation from a textile perspective in forever. I mean, we've literally been sleeping on the same fabric for generations. And as much as textile innovation has become a big part of the waking hours of our day, I'm sure Gordon would agree, we don't work out in a cotton t-shirt anymore. We use performance fabrics. And so it's now really extending that innovation to the 1/3 of our day that we spend asleep. And so, with this first linen, it's really very simple science. So we've taken a unique blend of natural and synthetic yarn. So our fabric is 65% natural and 35% synthetic, in a unique construction that's really engineered to work with your body while you sleep. So that surface right against your skin is going to be cool and dry, and your skin will slide across it and not stick to it. And the underside will take any excess moisture and quickly dissipate it. And so again, I started on this journey to solve a problem for me, but, an important part of the journey was obviously to talk to lots of other folks as well and see if they had ever, had the same problem and woken up in the morning not looking or feeling as refreshed as they wanted. And I started to get a sense that this was a pretty common problem. People maybe aren't naturally thinking about it, but as soon as you say it, you can sort of see the light bulb go off, and they say, yeah, for sure. I've seen that before. I think we've just never connected it to a problem that was solvable. And so I left my background in chemical engineering and the chemical industry and moved over into leveraging textile technology to just help all of us be better during that 1/3 of our day we spend asleep.
Great, Alison. I think that whatever product came up after our experience on this product, made it by heart and passion, and of course science. And I'm sure that non-lapelli linen will play a major role into our industry and the hospitality industry in general. So I will continue with Gordon now and ask him about Active Solution and how you ended up to develop this product, Gordon, with your team.
Yeah, it's interesting how things evolve, and the focus on, say, linens in a bedroom, or focus on what we do in a hotel room. We responded to a Hilton hotel program that they did many years ago, and this is probably before everyone got into data collection and technology as simple as it was. But back in 2008, Hilton Hotels did an honours program, or have an honours program, as we all know. They surveyed those honours programs guests, and they had a preconceived idea of what was important to their guests. And they had a preconceived idea that it was the linens in the bed, it was about the pillows, it was about how clean the room was. Do we have a coffee maker there in the room? Now, the third most important thing that came back from Hilton Honours guests to Hilton head office was fitness and wellness. And they were shocked. They were very surprised that fitness and wellness in 2008 was very important to their honours guests. So they looked at their fitness facilities across the country and they went, wow, we have got some okay ones and we've got some pretty bad ones. So I know from working in the hospitality industry 35 years now, it is a very hard conversation to have with a hotel owner to really see a return on investment by having a good fitness center or having good products in your fitness and wellness room, because a lot of hotels just supply it, but they don't see where you get your ROI. So Hilton then did a further series of tests, and they found that 64% of people stay in a hotel because they have a fitness center. So if they go to your webpage and they see that you have a swimming pool, you have a spa, or you have a fitness center, 64% were making a buying decision to put their head in your bed because you had a fitness center. Now, if they come to your property and you have a good fitness center, 72% of those people will return to that same property. So it was a very strong indication that, wellness, fitness is very important to people, and it's important to pay attention to these things on your property if you are going to get a return on investment. So from that, we evolved the Active Solutions, our active virtual personal trainer, in conjunction with Hilton, so that one, they had a good offering within the fitness center, but then we also had a big shift within the fitness industry of people moving to functional training, moving to CrossFit training, and using apps for training and having personal trainers. So what we did was amalgamate all that information and partnered with a company who most people in the hospitality industry know is a company called Uniguest, and they provide all the TVs that are in the lobbies, and they provide all that information where you can come into a lobby of a hotel, you can see where the local train station is, you know what the weather's going to be, and the best restaurants in the area. So we used their technology and our fitness expertise and combined them into a TV system where you can walk into your hotel room 5 feet from your bed. You have a whole system and you can exercise before you go to bed or when you get out of bed in the morning. You don't have to get changed out of your pajamas, out of your beautiful linens, and go down into the fitness center. You can actually train in the comfort of your own room. And we found that there was a big spike in hotel rooms or hotels that have these rooms with in-room fitness, and there is a massive return on investment by having these components in your room.
Excellent point of view, Gordon. And as far as I can see till now, both of you have actually developed your products according to your experience and according to what you're feeling, and of course what a guest wants from a hotel or from his or her home. So this link allows me to go to the next question for Alison. And because our today talk is about data, I would like to ask Alison, did you use data in order to create Nola Peli and of course all these linen? And is data important to create innovative products into the wellness industry and connect them with the science and evidence-based practices? Because data is a big conversation all over the world. So could you please explain it and give us your enlightenment about that?
Yes, absolutely. No, especially as an engineer, Stavros, I love data and I love really digging in and understanding what we're talking about. So for me, I really think about it two different ways. The first way is quite honestly from the market perspective and from the customer perspective, right? You need to really understand if what you are developing or what you want to develop is going to be interesting to the market. Gordon had lots of great data about the importance of fitness in a hotel. And so, early in my journey, I literally talked to 200 people and I asked them all sorts of questions around sleep and skincare and bedding, really to understand if this problem that I was going to try to solve was worth solving, right? And I just kept getting more validation that this was an important problem to solve if it was solvable, and that people are really focused on getting a great night's sleep, and wanting to wake up really looking and feeling their best. So, again, for me, data really started first on the customer side and the market side. And then once we started to get into research and development mode, then absolutely there was a whole different type of data that we collected. We were measuring different textiles and their moisture and temperature properties and how they interact with the skin and the body. And so all of that, obviously, to just confirm that what we have created is significantly better than what's out on the market today. So, 100% agree that data is a really important part of innovation and new innovation, both to ensure that it's doing what you intended to do and that there will be a good acceptance on the market side.
Great. Yes, I think that data, as far as we know until now, is, as we can say, like the oil, the black diamond of the next years. Whoever has data can develop the new products into the next years. So I'm going to ask Gordon pretty much the same question. If how your company use data to create these innovative fitness products, and can you be more specific on how the guests found active solution and active virtual?
Yeah, absolutely. So the as we know, data collection and all the big hotel businesses these days rely heavily on data collection for marketing, setting prices for the rooms, and it gathers a number of other pieces of data. So our computer is basically that. The computer in the room gives back statistics, plus as we know, we're all connected to the phones, and that gives back statistics. We found that hotels that placed, say they had 250 rooms and they allocated 5 of these rooms to and called it a wellness suite, and paid particular attention to what was in those rooms. And it could be the linens, it could be the lighting, but it certainly included the Active Solutions wellness workout opportunity. And the spike in usage of these particular rooms went from, say it was a 75% occupancy rate in that hotel. Those particular rooms had in the 90s in terms of occupancy, and people would pay a premium to be able to go into those rooms and use those particular rooms that had the opportunity to have a private workout or have your own wellness suite within the rooms. And that has stemmed throughout what we were doing with Hilton. It then migrated over to what we were doing with Fairmont hotels throughout the US, Swissôtel and Sofitel. Then that migrated to Asia Pacific, and we're doing the same sort of things for Mandarin Oriental. And so there is this evolution and change, and people are seeing this demand. And I think that COVID as well has really placed the emphasis back onto the wellness industry. I mean, we can't find a dumbbell these days to save ourselves. We can't go down to the local bicycle shop and even buy a bicycle, because everyone's doing something about exercise. Now, when COVID goes away, will this all go back to normal? Will everyone kind of forget about exercise and wellness? I don't think so. I think it's kind of been an awakening for the world, and that, we need to move, we need to look after ourselves, and we need to care for what we do, and what we experience at home, we also want to experience when we travel. And it's important more so that when you travel, you gain that experience, or it is a pleasurable experience because you're paying for it. You're paying for that experience, whether you're there on business or whether you're there as a traveling guest. You're paying for that experience, so that you want the experience as a consumer. You want the experience to be wonderful. So I think it's very important these days to gather the information that you can, provide the experience that you can, and ensure that we all know customer service is key. And when people have a wonderful experience, they're going to come back again. And that information and data collection all comes through all of the technology that we have. And we're moving to even more technology by introducing an app. And the app we're just beta testing that in the Apple Store right now. And that will give even more connectivity. And from the active virtual unit, which is a more one-on-one personal training unit, we've migrated to a larger system, which you can see over my right shoulder there. And that is a small group training where people can walk into a fitness center and there is exercises happening all the time. So you don't have to turn up at a particular time. A guest can turn up anytime and they can participate in exercises and be given exercises and just visually follow the exercises on the screen. So it's facilitating activity, it's creating a customer experience, and that's what we're trying to make sure that we do. And from that experience, we're seeing a greater expansion around the world. And you might have seen that we just did a launch with Accor Hotels in Paris, and we've rebranded and created brand standards for their Pullman brand. And they have an interesting concept. And as you work with more and more hotels around the world and groups, that everyone has a different perspective on what is the key. And with the Pullman brand, we're doing more of a forward-focused concept with the fitness, and that is allowing membership to come into a hotel fitness facility. So therefore, we're creating a blend between a hotel guest experience, but also being sensitive to community. And they're wanting the community that lives near the hotel to be part of the hotel experience as well. So it's interesting how different brands and different operators work to create a concept, and all those concepts come together through, it can be gut feeling, but a smarter way to do business is to analyze the data and the information that people are giving you, and that information is so easily readable through all the technology these days that we have access to. So hopefully I gave you an overview.
No, 100%, Gordon. Was really interesting what I heard. Of course. Please, Alison.
Yes, I just wanted to sort of piggyback on a little bit more of what Gordon was talking about, because I think it really is so fascinating. Nolapelli is much earlier in our journey relative to his company, but we're doing exactly that same thing, partnering with innovative hotels who are looking to upgrade, at least to start, a small percentage of their rooms, to start to gather that guest feedback, to confirm that there is a high demand for a sleep-focused room or a wellness-focused room, that they can indeed even charge more for that room. And so, we're really excited to be on that same path. It sounds like it was very successful for his company. The other thing I wanted to just mention on the subject of data, when you talk to people about a good night's sleep, a good night's sleep is often just very qualitative, right? In the US, Nolapelli is partnering with a very innovative high-tech mattress company named Bright. So Bright has developed a special mattress that is AI enabled and is connected to a tablet on the bedside that will quantify the sleep that you're getting. And I know there are different ways of doing that today. This doesn't require you to wear a bracelet or a ring or a watch or anything else, but it will actually measure the quality of your sleep. And so I think that's really powerful data for all of us as consumers and as sleepers to understand, how these changes in our environment are really able to make tangible improvements in the quality of our sleep.
No, for sure, and thank you for mentioning that, Alison. I had again the privilege to speak with owners of Bright, which is a startup from California as well, and I think that digitalization of the fitness and Nolapeli, along with Bright, will change the way we see a room, and of course. Whatever space it will be, like in real estate or in our home or in our workplace, because I think wellness covers everything. It's not only hotels, but is the place we work and the place we live, of course. So we have to see many things, and congratulations for your presentation at the Global Wellness Summit. And I will ask you later on to share some very good insights from there. So, Alison, according to what you have said until now, what do you have to say to investor, hoteliers, GMs, executives in Greece about Nolapeli, and how can they implement them into their guest experience, and why? I know that general Greece and Europe is behind USA concerning the innovation of new products. But that's why we're doing this talk to get to know what's happening in the world and see how we can implement. So, what do you have to tell to these GMs, executives, and investors in Greece?
That's another great question, Stavros. So, I think fundamentally as humans, we are all much more aware of the importance of a good night's sleep. And now even in these times of COVID, that direct link between sleep and our immune system. So I think as people, we are all much more focused on sleep. But then when we think about sleep in the context of hotels, there is a sleep researcher at Harvard Medical School. Her name is Dr. Rebecca Robbins. She has done extensive research in sleep and most recently published a paper linking sleep quality and hotel satisfaction. So really interesting, surveyed, I think, 800 travelers, a combination of business travelers and leisure travelers, and really wanted to understand, what drives hotel satisfaction, what makes that guest really rave about a hotel, tell their friends about it, leave a great review, and come back. And one of the most important drivers that she found in her recent research of hotel satisfaction was the quality of the sleep. And when you think about it, I mean, during the guest's stay in the hotel, a good percentage of that time is spent sleeping. And so, she really confirmed that direct connection between sleeping well and having a great impression of that hotel. And so I think, that just underscores the business case for hotels to invest in sleep. Again, Gordon shared great data on the business case to invest in wellness and fitness. But now thinking about, again, that 1/3 of our day that we spend asleep, a real business case for hotels to invest in sleep to really drive overall hotel satisfaction.
Okay, thank you very much, Alison, for that. And Gordon, could you please share with us some more specific numbers that Active Solution brought to your concepts that you implemented into hotels? And again, what do you have to say to hoteliers and investors in Greece about the new design for the fitness spaces? And what are your guidelines to meet the demands and needs of the modern guest? Because until now, to my experience as well, most of the hotels, they are building the fitness spaces like the normal one with the treadmills and bikes and all these big machines. So could you please advise what is the next generation of fitness spaces into hotels or in workplaces as well?
Yeah, it's interesting how you can gather data as I've shared with this technology, and we can see the spike or the trend, the movement, that people are willing to pay extra, people are wanting an experience, and people want to come away satisfied from their business travel or their guests or their vacation experience. what we're seeing through our design work, we have another part of our company, and we employ 5 full-time architects, and we have a fitness design group. And fitness design group works under our auspices, and they're the ones that actually have the engagement with a core hotel and Hilton hotels, because we're a design-first organisation. We come in and look at everything from the lighting to the flooring and anything in between. You know, the equipment kind of is the easy part of it. We're talking about sound vibration to make sure that the hotel room, and we don't have treadmills in the fitness room that's causing sound vibration to a meeting room next door, and therefore that business that has had, you know, 10, 20, 30 of their employees come from all over the globe to be there does not have a good meeting experience. So we take into consideration all of those matters, the sound vibration, the lighting, the ventilation, and the whole appearance. But what we've found is there is a big movement away from what we call the standard meat and potatoes, and that is putting treadmills and ellipticals into a room. A lot of people aren't interested in doing, you know, just treadmill and elliptical anymore. The biggest trends in fitness and wellness over the last 2 years is all about body movement, body functioning, body weight training, working with a personal trainer. So it's more about, you know, suspension training, or using kettlebells, or using, you know, air-filled, water-filled products, a number of different methods that people have kind of moved. And that's what happens with the fitness industry. It goes in cycles, and you'll see some things that happened in the 80s and reappear in the 2020s, you know, it always happens. But the nice thing about the trends for going through the 20s right now is that it's all about creating space. It's not about filling a room. It's not about putting a whole bunch of equipment in there. It's about allowing people to have their space, and more importantly, and ironically, you know, that is a requirement of COVID now these days anyway. So we've created training pods, as we call them, and it's a zone, and it occupies the same footprint as a treadmill. It costs way less than a treadmill, and it gives you a whole bunch more functionality than just running on a treadmill. So there is a number of ways to create solutions, and traveling through Europe, as I did at the end of last year, doing a lot of research, there is certain hotels that get that method and get that trend and movement, and then there's others that just go, I'm just going to stay with the old stuff, you know, and then they're the ones that aren't making that return on investment. So like anything, when you have data, when you have technology and you have innovation, do you want to move with that trend or you don't? I know when I owned health clubs way back in Australia many, many years ago, I was reluctant to implement changes, and there was this big trend in boxing and exercise. I didn't like boxing, so I didn't put boxing classes into my fitness center. And 6 months later, I put them in, and I couldn't have enough people in there. There was 7 days a week, 7 classes a day, and I went, why did I resist this, you know? So data can give you information, and data will direct you, but you've also got to look at the trends and where trends are going. And what we as a company try and do is predict where that trend is going to be next. We don't want to wait for it to come and happen. We do a lot of data research, and we try and find where that trend, that next movement will be. And right now, it's about designing space. It's about having a pleasurable experience, and it's not about filling the room with a whole bunch of equipment. It's about functionality and a whole wellness experience.
Great. I think that this is the future, and I'm in favor of that. This is what we're trying to do as Soul Tailor's, and me and myself as well. Thank you very much for all these very, very, very important information, Gordon. And I would like to ask from Alison now to share with us, you know, some your experience from this year's Global Wellness Summit, and you know the synergy with Bright, and tell us about the future, about what is coming, and if Greece is ready for these developments, because we know that Greece is well known worldwide about the climate, about the Mediterranean diet. Everybody wants to come for holidays, and more than welcome to come. And I will be your host here, both of you, Gordon and Alison. But when you share your experience from Global Wellness Summit, please give us an indication if Greece is ready to accept all this innovation over the next years.
So, Stavros, this was my first time attending the Global Wellness Summit. I've been involved in the Institute for a few years now. I was part of an initiative called Beauty Meets Wellness, and that initiative dissolved recently, but I really had just leaned more into the Global Wellness Institute and the summit because I'm just fascinated by what they're doing. I mean, talk about predicting the trends and looking ahead to see really where things are moving or where we need to move, especially as a wellness industry. I think it's just absolutely just fascinating and mind-blowing what they're able to look into. The biggest, I think the biggest sort of trend or focus area that was highlighted at this year's Global Wellness Summit is mental wellness and the importance of our mental well-being. We think so much about our physical well-being, and now we're starting to think more about sort of that 1/3 of our day that we spend asleep, but really paying attention to our mental well-being, how important that is, how we can really impact that. I think that was sort of the big new movement that we're going to see globally in the wellness industry, and what can we all be doing to positively impact mental well-being. So that was really exciting. And then, Nola Pelli and Bright have stepped up to lead a new initiative within Global Wellness on sleep. It's interesting that sleep hasn't been a main part of the conversation, even though I think we would all agree that it is an incredibly big influencer or predictor of health and well-being, that quality of sleep. Bright and Nola Pelli are so focused and committed to educating and to sharing the importance of sleep and pulling together all of the different experts that are involved in sleep that certainly go beyond just the mattress and the sheets. I think Gordon even mentioned it's the lighting, it's the temperature of the room, it's even your diet and when in your day you work out, and your alcohol consumption and on your stress level and all of these other things that impact sleep. Bright and Nola Pelli really want to bring those conversations more to the forefront, and so we've stepped up to lead a new initiative under Global Wellness called the Sleep Care Initiative. And we call it sleep care because, obviously sleep is that time when you're actually, eyes closed, but that it actually behooves us to think about sleep in a slightly bigger way. And it's that time of our day when we're preparing for sleep, when we're actually sleeping, and then when we're coming out of sleep in the morning. So we refer to that sort of bigger frame as sleep care. And we're very excited to be launching that new initiative within Global Wellness, again, to pull together all of the respective experts that can help improve the quality of sleep in a hotel and also in our home environments as well.
Thank you for this information. For sure, we'll be watching the new initiative. I'm always searching for new initiatives to see how the world is moving forward. And Gordon, I would like to ask you now about the personal trainers. As we see now, we're going to a digital world. Okay, so the actual personal trainer in a gym or in our home, maybe in some years from now, will not be present and will be through a screen or whatever, I don't know. So how we will train the future employees to this new normal? Do we have to change, the way we educate them? They have to find new ways to promote themselves. You see more synergies on that way. And Do you suggest the Greek hoteliers to adapt all these new fitness concepts in order to meet the demands and needs of the modern traveler?
Yeah, interesting question. I think that, whenever there's change or a shift in direction, there is always that fear factor. And if I was a personal trainer and I saw the change that happened through COVID, where I used to have a personal training studio and people would come to me in my studio. Now people are going, I want an app and I'm going to train by my app. And suddenly people who were personal trainers who didn't even know anything about technology are trying to learn and having to learn to be able to put their exercises onto a phone or Zoom calls or wherever, so that their clientele base could be maintained and also be satisfied. And I think the same thing with all of our technology is it's a given. It's always going to change. It's always going to evolve. I don't think that personal trainers and anyone in the fitness industry is going to lose out anywhere through this process. We continue to evolve. We continue to change. And that is where, technology and app-based technology is where everyone is moving to. And what we've created in addition and response to that is allowing, with the TV platform that we have in the background here, is that it allows people to film exercises on their iPhones and just send it like a text message to that screen. So if you wanted to have a wellness program for your staff and you had a staff leader, or you had someone who was the wellness on the resort and was like the wellness leader, they could do a whole series of filming and put it up there onto that screen for the staff. If there was a staff training time, 3 times a week, you have to turn up, here's the exercises, but then it can flip to being, here's the personal trainer, and the personal trainer's doing small group training classes and using the technology as a guide. Or it can be flipped again, that it's a more personal thing where all 3 of us could walk into the fitness area at 10-minute intervals, and we could all walk in and participate and just follow the technology on the screen. Does that go towards where we're answering? I think that the trend of wellness and fitness is always an evolution. But where we're heading right now is using and utilizing technology to get to the guests, because that's their expectations. Everyone, as I said in the beginning, everyone has one of these things in their hand, and they all want to be able to have access to what they need, and that is at their fingertips. And that's where we're driving our business.
And do you suggest to the Greek hoteliers to adapt all these new fitness concepts that Active Solutions and other companies has in order to meet the demands of the modern customer? Is something that you suggest 100% to move on?
Yeah, I think it's proven. I mean, we have had such success with hotels where it's been mandated by people like Hilton to say, if you own a DoubleTree or you own a Hilton brand flag, you are required to put 5 of these wellness studios or wellness suites together. And those that have complied with those rules and regulations have seen a big spike in their return on investment. So so much so that the rooms are all paid for and everything is taken care of. So there is always going to be this movement towards wellness, and people expect that, and people are looking for those people that are in that area, in that direction, whether it be taking care of the room, the mood lighting, the linens on your bed, the beds. These bright beds are amazing. I've worked with the company as well and looked at the way in which they analyze temperature and pulse rates and sleep patterns and all those sorts of things. And that's the thing, that's the given, is that with technology, we're made more aware of anything and pretty much everything that our bodies can do, our experience and our well-being. And I think, it's important, if you're going to satisfy a customer, and we know that customer satisfaction creates return on investment. And if you're not giving them that customer satisfaction, then you're not going to have people walking in the door and putting heads in beds, as I say.
Yeah, I totally agree, Gordon. I think that guest satisfaction is the number one, and we need to follow what the guest wants and what guest needs in order to implement all these new innovative products and concepts. So what I realized today is that connectedness is the right word to describe the holistic approach for this decade that we're into, because I understand that Bright, Nolapeli, Active Solution, and other companies that use technology to make innovative products is the future. And before we go into the last question, I would like to make some practical questions that the attendees actually ask, and start from Alison. Alison, how a hotel in Greece, urban or resort in an island, can implement and the Nolapeli linen? How easy is that? And what are the steps in order to do that? And what will be the benefits of having Nolapeli linen?
So the first step is really quite easy. It's just to reach out to us. And I will share my personal email address with the group here, and that's simply Alison, my first name, @nolapeli.com. Reach out to us and let us know what you're looking for. We don't currently have a distribution network already established in Europe, but it is a priority for us. And so as soon as we have some firm demand, then we're happy to move forward with a distribution strategy in Europe. Our linens are available wholesale in a variety of sizes, including for the spa, and that's something that we haven't really talked about yet, Stavros. But just to be clear, that Nolapeli we've taken our linen technology and we've extended it also to the spa. So really, as a way to share more of a beauty story and a skin and hair story that can also be reinforced in the guest room. So Nolapeli is a comprehensive solution for a property that touches both the guest room and the spa. So in terms of getting started, again, very simply, just reach out to us and let us know how we can support you with samples and then moving into orders. We have a very robust supply chain here in the US. You asked, I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question? Oh, okay, and I think it was just about why they might want to do this. So, I think we all agree, and it's really the umbrella under which we're gathered here today, and that's wellness, right? And the importance of wellness. And so, wellness and fitness, they go hand in hand, and that's very well established, and everyone understands that fitness is an integral part of wellness. What Nolapeli represents is really a new and innovative way to spread wellness, and that's through your linens, right? That's not something that we've typically talked about. It's really a whole new frontier. It's really a way to share with your guests a new and exciting story that's a very real story about the connection between your body and your bedding, but it gives properties something new to talk about, right? And Nolapeli is very happy to support all of that messaging and marketing, both digitally and in person. But really giving properties something new and exciting to talk about, a new way to talk about wellness in terms of fostering better sleep, in terms of protecting your skin and hair. And so I think that that's really exciting and something that in my experience so far, properties are always very excited to have something new to talk to their guests about. And again, with Nolapeli, it's not only a product that can be used on property, but one that can be retailed as well. So your guests get to experience the product in the guest room, in the spa, and then can take that that beautiful experience home with them and always be reminded of their wonderful stay.
Thank you very much. I think it's more practical, clear now. And I'm going to ask pretty much the same thing to Gordon. Asking, the audience in Greece, is it easy for a hotel, if it's urban, like a city hotel and spa, or if it's a resort and spa, to implement active solution gym racks or whatever other solution from your company, and more practical, how this works? They need to change their hotel room. They need to change their fitness space. They will do many changes or small changes. Could you please give us more directions, practical on that in that sort of time?
Yeah, we've been working internationally for a number of years. So we do projects all over the globe. We're just finishing off one in Paris right now. We've got another one starting in Spain next week. So we've got things that happen globally, and we manage that process. We have the infrastructure to do that. If you were going to think about creating some in-room experience, it's about having space, and it's not about trying to jam something into a hotel room that is fairly tight. And I've been into hotels where the hotel room doesn't lend itself to going in there and meditating, or trying to do some yoga on the floor, or even do some sit-ups on the floor. There's enough there's sometimes just enough room to walk around the side of the bed. So we need to be sensible about where we place this. The beauty of the in-room fitness program is it does not require a great deal of space, does not require a great deal of infrastructure. It is, as we say, a pod, and it is basically 4 feet by 6 foot long. And all you need to do is have a power cord and some Wi-Fi, and that in-room fitness personal training program is live and available. And then, transferring that guest experience into a more robust fitness facility or wellness space, we can create anything from, a 3 meter by 3 meter room to something that's, a big resort facility that we're doing for Real Madrid Soccer Club in Spain right now. So, indoor, outdoor training facilities. So we do everything from a small box to big boxes. So we have that infrastructure, we have that experience, and we've been doing it for 30 odd years. So it's a nice, we create a nice experience for you.
Thank you very much, Gordon. I think that both of you gave, practical answers, because some people asking about that is the practicality and the functionality of all these innovative products. I have a last question for both of you. As we know, all over the world we have COVID-19 pandemic, but hopefully soon will all these finish. So how the future looks like, and how wellness will look like with technology in this decade. How you imagine a hotel room or a home room or a workplace to be in 5 to 7 years time, because it's not too far away from now. And do you think that guests from now on will look for more science and technology-based products when they're going for holidays or at their work? So, Alison, could you please answer to that? Is not a science fiction, is the near future, and because we're all in technology, and you are in the USA, so USA produce all these new innovative products, not only, but is the major country. So please, can you tell us about this in the future, how we will see all these technologies implemented in 5-7 years time?
I think COVID has actually been a great accelerator of innovation in wellness. And we've taken sort of that path that we were on, that might have taken us 5 to 7 years to get to, and we've condensed that down into into 9 months, it's really exciting to hear how Gordon and his company have reacted and responded so quickly and evolved the packaging of their offering to suit the needs of today's traveler and today's consumer. So I think, again, COVID has really just helped to accelerate this pace of innovation in wellness that we're seeing, and I think that's only going to continue. And for me personally, that just makes me so excited to see how we can, continue to lean into and learn and adapt and get better. At the heart of Nolopelli is sort of this untapped space of textile technology that, again, we've started to get accustomed to for the waking hours of our day. I mean, with what we work out in, and even in our everyday apparel, that it's become so much smarter to continue to leverage textile technology for that 1/3 of our day that we spend asleep. So we not only sleep more comfortably and with greater quality, but can even get into products that take care of our eyes and the skin around our eyes when we sleep, or the skin on our hands when we sleep. So that just gets me really excited about the future. And again, I think COVID has just helped to accelerate that. And I think we'll see that adoption worldwide as we all, just as a species, become more focused on being well and healthy and just taking as good care of ourselves as we can. Can't hear you.
Tailor's.
Sorry, apologies. This is happening already. So, Gordon, could you please tell us again how the future will look like in wellness and fitness industry in general around these technology innovative products? And do you think that guests will search for more science-based and tech products after COVID-19 crisis over the next years? Because we have to adapt to that, yeah?
Yeah, as Alison said, I think COVID has sped things up for everyone. I think, and particularly as we've talked about today, the focus on being well, being healthy, and being mobile, particularly people who are used to going to a place of work, an office, and not going to those offices anymore. And even that activity of going from point A to point B, people feel as though they're active. So, it might be getting on the train or getting in the car or walking to work, but it's activity. And if people are lacking that activity, now it's time, how do they adjust to that? And how do we get our activity? And where is technology going? And you look at the big technology companies, and all of the big technology companies and the biggest movers. I mean, you think about the amount of people that wear Apple Watches, and why is Apple investing in what they do in terms of their technology and being able to track your heart rate, your steps. And when Fitbit came out, it was the big thing, and everyone was talking about how many steps they do. And now Apple's got that integration into their watches. And I was with a guest last night, and she was walking up and down the street because trying to get her steps in. But it's just an indication of how people are focused on being active and doing something with their bodies. And the fact that people like Apple are investing and bringing more and more technology that is around wellness. I believe, I don't own an Apple Watch, but I believe that it also tracks sleep patterns and sleep awareness and how many hours you're in deep sleep. So there is a continued focus on this. Humans by nature are instinctively curious about how they evolve and how we evolve and how we make ourselves better. But the missing link in all that is that we as humans also love to travel. We also like to be pampered. We like to have a guest experience. And when we get blocked off from that, we all kind of start climbing the walls and go, when can I travel again? When can I go and experience a beautiful resort looking at the Mediterranean Sea with a cocktail in my hand and just try and relax a little bit, because life is stressful and we create stresses for our life. But I think that to answer the question, I believe is technology won't go away. We need to stay ahead of the curve. We always focus on that. We pride ourselves on trying to be ahead of that curve and see where, you know, technology is going to take us, and technology will always be taking us somewhere. And we've integrated that into our fitness solutions, whether it be a TV on the wall, whether it be an app in your hand. It's information, and people want information, and they want it in their hand when they desire to access it, you know. So we will continue to work in that mode.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Gordon and Alison, for this great talk. I would like to mention here that we had another wellness pioneer and innovator, Justin Campbell from the Three Sages company, that due to some technical problems couldn't actually join our panel. And I would like to say from him that we will arrange one of our next talks to be present and speak about Three Sages and the new innovative tech programs that introduced to this hospitality and not only world. So apologies to the audience that the third speaker was not here due to technical problems, but technology makes us to feel easy, make us, you know, help us, but sometimes, you know, produce some headaches and problems. We're trying to solve them. We couldn't do that, but next time, for sure, he will be with us. I would like to thank you from the deep of my heart, Gordon and Alison, attending this talk. I think that today we had some very good and innovative things that I'm sure that helped a lot to clear in their mind how to implement that in their projects and where the world is moving, especially in these times. And I'm sure that we will be in touch, and Greece and Europe is open to implement all these new innovative things for sure. And me personally, and as Soul Tailor's, because we're a wellness technology company, we're in contact in both of you in order to see how we can move forward and introduce all these very interesting things. So Alison, just tell us a last word and hello to our audience and in Greece.
Yeah, okay, so a final word, I would say, just remember the importance of a good night's sleep to protect your own immune system, to prepare for your day tomorrow, and continue to be open to new innovation and new technology that can help us all live healthier, happier, longer lives.
Thank you very much, Alison. And Gordon, last word from you.
Yeah, exactly that. We're all about being healthy. We're all about having a wonderful life and enjoying it. And whether you're traveling for business or whether you're traveling for a relaxation guest experience, people want to be active. People want to do something, whether it be yoga, whether it be something more physical. People are always going to crave that. People are always going to desire that. And if you're providing that experience, and it is a great experience, as we've seen through data collection, if you do it and you step up and you provide a good quality service, your guest will return. And as we know through social media these days, there is a lot of people that are very verbal and very willing to write reports and write Yelps and write, you know, all sorts of things on their blogs. And if you're giving those people that wonderful guest experience, then they're going to continue to push you and get you with that data collection and those hits that drive business these days. So do yourselves a favor, embrace the technology.
Great. Gordon, Alison, really thank you very much for your participation. And I think that your day starts now back in the USA. We're in 6:15, which is afternoon in Greece. We have recorded all the talks, so I will send it to you, and we will share the key talks with all of our database and in our social media, So you will see a lot of movement over the next days. And see you in Greece in some point to be your host, as I told you. Thank you very much again. Stay safe and stay healthy, and speak soon.
Thank you both.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye now.